Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 St. Paul String Quartet Competition virtual interviews. My name is Ray Shows. I am the first violinist of the Artaria String Quartet and founder and administrator of America's finest competition exclusively for string quartets. This is our 19th year of competitions, and today I have the distinct privilege of introducing the Mia. Is that how I pronounce it, or is it Maya?
Mia.
Mia. Good, I got it right. A quartet from Michigan, and I hope the four of you are doing well.
Yes, thank you.
Could each of you tell us your name, the instrument you're playing, and where you're originally from?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I play the cello, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I play the viola, and I was adopted from Cambodia as a baby and grew up in Victoria, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Allison. I am originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I play the violin.
Hi, I'm Bethlehem Kelly. I grew up in Lenexa, Kansas, but I was born in Ethiopia, and I play violin.
Wow, you guys are quite international on your own set there. Terrific, and we're delighted to have you at the competition this year. So I want to find out from each of you, how did you get introduced and interested in chamber music per se? Could we start with Catherine?
So I was very fortunate to grow up with a really good pre-college program in my hometown, despite it being a very small area. And we started playing chamber music. I think my first group, I was 11 years old. And ever since then, I've been involved in a chamber group or two every single year. And I am very grateful for all of those opportunities.
Who did your coaching? Was it a professional quartet or faculty at a university or what?
So it was someone who moved there, and the program already existed, but he really helped it take off. And his name is Michael Vandersloot.
Oh,
there's a number of Vandersloots out in the world, and so the name is probably familiar to a lot of people, but he ended up being my teacher in high school as well and for undergrad.
Super. So Bethlehem, tell us your story.
So I did a little bit of chamber music in high school, nothing too serious. And I was in a couple of groups in my sophomore year here at Michigan, but in my junior year, the Mia Quartet was founded, and that was the first really serious, intense chamber music experience I'd ever had. And ever since then, I've fallen in love with it, and especially getting to work with three other people that are taking it just as seriously has been like an eye-opening musical experience, and it's made me grow a lot as a musician.
Lauren, what is your story?
So I grew up in a family of musicians. So I guess like the earliest memory of like chamber music that I've had is just like playing with my family. Super not serious, but very fun. And then I just kind of grew up doing like summer festivals, just playing like random quartets and chamber groups. But I would say this is also my first like serious group, but also very fun. I love working with these people every day. Yeah.
Allison, what is your story?
So I was lucky enough in high school to be a part of the Settlement Advanced Study Quartet program. I was in the Braverman Quartet. But I would say that was like kind of just like a side thing. And I wasn't, it was super fun, but it wasn't really until undergrad when I met Annie Fullard, and she kind of changed my life personally and like as a violinist, as she does with everybody. And so like, it's impossible to work with Annie and not fall in love with chamber music. And so I studied chamber music with her for 4 years. And then I moved to Michigan and founded this quartet with these amazing friends. And that was definitely my first like serious full-time kind of group. And it's kind of a full circle moment now because Annie actually just started working at Michigan this year and is coaching us. And so it's really full circle for me, just having that experience with her that made me love chamber music, and now getting to have this group that I love so much and getting to work with her, with all of us together, and she'll actually be joining us in St. Paul. So we're so excited for that.
That is fantastic. Annie and her colleagues are a force in nature in chamber music. Great stories. Next question. So how did the four of you actually coalesce into a formal quartet?
So I started here. I'm about to graduate my master's, so I started almost 2 years ago. And when I was coming here, I had first met Allie and Bethlehem in 2021 at Center Stage Strings with Miss Belen. And Betty and I were part of a group that was doing the accelerated chamber program, and Allie was in the other group that was doing the accelerated chamber program. So we spent a lot of time together in master classes and such. And then when I was moving here, Allie was moving here at the same time, and she called me on the phone one day and said, "Hey, you want to play in a chamber group together? I'm also moving to Michigan to start studying with Miss Belen." And then I called Betty, and Betty already went here, so we had her look for a cellist because we didn't know anybody. And then that cellist is actually part of a different group who's going to St. Paul. Because she graduated.
No way.
Yeah, we're still really good friends with her. No hard feelings. She's
No,
lovely.
of course not. No, of course not. No, that's a first. That's a first.
So Priscilla, her name is Priscilla Kim, and she was a senior doing her undergrad here. And so she joined our group last year, and we competed at Coltman with her last year, and we had such a great time, but we kind of knew that she was leaving. And so she actually helped us by telling us that we needed to have Lauren in our group. Lauren was the best. And we've just had the best time with Lauren. We ran into Priscilla a few times this year already at Coltman and at the Calidor Quartet seminar, and we always hang out with their group. They're kind of like, we say they're like our sibling quartet. So the Trellis Quartet, we love them so much. So it's just great to have friends that also love chamber music.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to be a whole week. I had no idea. This is such a great backstory. Thank you so much for telling me this. Lauren, the name, Mia. How did you guys come up with the name Mia?
I feel like that's a question for
Oh, fine. No. Fine. Whoever's the best person to answer that.
So we struggled to find a name, as I think it's very common to struggle. And so we having a late night text conversation, throwing out a bunch of random names. And my cat is named Mia, and I love my cat so much. And I was sort of joking when I said it, but it just sort of resonated with all of us. And so we've been the Mia Quartet, and it's really, I think my cat is our biggest supporter, so it kind of tracks.
Wow, you've got a mascot. I mean, that's just so cool. That is really cool. Lauren, let's talk repertoire, okay? So how did you guys come to the pieces that you selected, your quartet selected, I should say? What was the path on that?
Okay, so before I was in the group, the three of them played the Mendelssohn F minor, and we kind of just decided to continue it because we felt like there was still a lot more to explore with the phrasing, and just, I felt like it helped us just kind of like grow as a group. And so we've been working on it continuously. The other piece that we're playing is by Danuk
Gujaratne.
Thank you. He's a Canadian composer who was actually Kate's conductor in undergrad.
Yeah, so I actually have a very close personal connection with him, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
So we decided to play his piece as well, the two pop songs on Anticones. And that has been, it's been a difficult ride, but we've definitely learned a lot from it. And we're super excited to play it.
Have you had a chance to start working on the Billy Childs piece?
Yes, we have.
Okay, most of the groups have just started, so don't feel like you're way behind or anything like that. What is your first impressions on that? Bethlehem, what is your first impression on that?
I think when I first listened to it, I kind of like couldn't quite make sense of what I was hearing, but it's been interesting because we've also started it somewhat recently, but in a pretty short amount of time. I feel like we've been able to like piece it together and start to kind of understand like where the melodies are and like where the piece is going. And I really love this piece. I think it's so cool. And I really like rehearsing it under tempo because you can like hear all the cool like harmonies and all the notes like rubbing together. I think it's really cool. And it's really challenging us also to like listen and play together in a way that's like so precise, especially for this piece. So yeah, it's been really interesting so far.
Allison, what do you think of the piece?
I agree. It's so cool. And I mean, we were really lucky because the day after you sent us the music, the Isidore Quartet came into town and played it on a recital. And so Lauren and I were able to go and hear it live. And so
I planned that. That was a plan.
Yeah. And so I mean, it was interesting. I almost was like, should I pull out my score? But I didn't. I just listened to it. But it was really, yeah, it was a really great experience to kind of be able to see and kind of feel the piece like live, and hear the other movements as well, and just get a feel for what we were kind of getting into before we rehearsed it. And it's just really a cool piece. And now we're kind of like, oh, should we learn the rest of it too? Like, it's, yeah, we're really excited about it. So it's great.
It has a great storyline, and they were the group that I heard play it, is why I picked it. Okay, getting too like, wow, there's 3 people in the room. No, they're I don't think 6 degrees of separation applies in chamber music. It's much closer than that. It really, really, really is. But that's a great story. That's fantastic. Okay, now here's the fun question. Would you please describe to the audience your rehearsal style?
This is the right person to answer that question.
Okay, so we have very different styles, we have very different like rehearsal personalities, I like to say. So I'm definitely the like, let's keep rehearsing, like talk later person. But we're very goofy, and I think that's why we work so well together, is because for every moment of like intensity, we balance it with like just singing a song or just like kind of like laughing it off. We are big on humor, and I think we just are like really like genuinely best friends. And so like I think we try to like incorporate just how much we care for one another into our rehearsals. But definitely there comes a time when I have to say, you know, okay, it's time to like, let's set a coffee date later and let's, you know, tune that chord kind of thing. But I think we're generally pretty goofy. We like to, you know, have fun, and we try and make it as serious fun is a good way to put it. Yeah, we're big on that, I think.